talking about toxins. Your home could be filled with toxins, probably is, and you don't even know it. Things you use every day, cleaners, candles, dryer sheets, may be more hazardous to your health than you think. Dr. Noreen Mayberry is the Tox Doc, and she's here to show us what could be some of the biggest toxic hotspots around the house, Dr. Noreen. So, gosh, where do we begin?
So we can talk about our cleaning products, because that's something that we bring in most often, and they have these lightweight, volatile organic chemicals.
You can smell it.
You can smell it. You know, think about walking down an aisle in a store and smelling some of those cleaning products. It's not airtight. We store them in our kitchens, we store them in our bathrooms, and we forget about them, but we don't realize we're getting a low-level exposure. So sometimes you should change where and how you store these so that you can eliminate how much is getting into your air. We can't get away from chemicals, but we can help to reduce the exposures. Some of the effects are neurological effects, which can be permanent, and some that can be reversible.
So even though they're just sitting here, there's stuff that's leaking out of them?
Oh yeah, like I said, think about when you walk down the aisle where you've got scented items like laundry detergent. They're in the same type of bottles, but because they're heavily scented, you smell them immediately. These aren't heavily scented, but they have a low-level exposure that's actually leaching out. Any exposure longer than 24 hours is considered a chronic exposure.
Wow.
So you've got a chronic exposure going on, and sometimes we buy lots of it because it's on sale. We store it, we think it's in there, and that we're not getting any exposure, but that's not exactly the case.
Never thought of that before.
Yeah.
All right, what about your furniture, your drapery, your bedding, things like that?
So that's coated or sprayed with flame retardants. There's also sealants in there that are formaldehyde based. So these brominated flame retardants and a combination with the formaldehyde, you've got a soupy mixture there, and it off gases, or it slowly leaches out of the furniture and our carpet and our drapery and our just anywhere you've got these flame retardants, even some of our bed sheets. You put kids down there, young infants, it's not safe for them because it leaches out and they get a greater exposure because they're younger, they're not fully developed.
What about the carpet? I mean, because the kids are down on the carpet.
Right, exactly. I don't recommend that at all, not directly on the carpet. I recommend putting something down that they can actually roam about and play on over the carpet, because the carpet is a source and a sink for those cleaning products that adhere to the dust. A lot of the dust in our house is actually us. It's skin cells that are shedding. You know, so we shed about, on average 6 pounds per year. Every day we're shedding skin cells. The cleaning products adhere to them. What off gases from the carpet adheres to them. And so you don't want to give them a direct exposure. So that's pretty important. That's why you need to make sure you're not giving them a greater exposure.
Okay, it's springtime. It's kind of garden season, and we're going to be working a lot on the grass and the yard and the garden and all that stuff, and that also poses some dangers.
So what's good about that is that you're outdoors, and so you're diluting the exposure. The problem is we tend to really get in there when we're dealing with our gardening, and so a lot of these chemicals, there's a lot of heavy metals in here. They become airborne. They get directly into our faces. We don't wear protective equipment when we're gardening, so that's something you need to keep in mind. Make sure that when you're gardening, if you're not gardening organically, if you're using fertilizers, if you're using weed killers, those things can become airborne, and so you watch the amount of exposure.
Oh boy.
The dose makes the poison in toxicology.
We are just about out of time, Dr. Noreen. I want to make sure that people know about your books that they can get.
Definitely learn about how to eliminate these toxic roommates so that you're not afraid of them, but you know how to live with them properly. Today, Fox26 is the code for 25% off my products on my website.
Hey, so go to, is it Tox Doc or Dr. Noreen?
drnoreen.com or thetoxdoctor.com.
Okay, drnoreen.com, Fox26, 25% off. Hey, what's toxic about that? Absolutely nothing at all.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming. All right.